their videos, just make this call very lively. We'll maybe give 30 more seconds for people to log in as well as turn on the videos. Right. Meanwhile, also, can we check from which all regions people have logged in for today's community open house? Right. You can use the chat option. Message me from which place you're logged in for this call. I'm not sure if you're able to use the chat option. Okay, I can see it coming now. We have people from Gurgaon, okay, Belapur, Mumbai, Assam, Kuwait. Okay, that's interesting. Coimbatore, Bangalore, welcome. Tokyo, okay, we have people from Indore, Pune. Who else? Any other place? Sirsi, awesome. Ghaziabad. There is diversity right here. Punjab. Okay, wonderful. I would like to welcome you all again. So without wasting much time, I would like to call our Swasthya coach and our Swasthya warrior, our Swasthya coach Himani Agarwal, who's going to, ask our Swasthya warrior to Abhinav to share his journey. Over to you, Himani.
Thank you so much, Shilpa. Good morning, everybody. I hope all of you are having a good Sunday morning. It's a privilege to actually have Dr. Abhinav with us here today. To introduce him, he is a radiologist by profession. He has completed his MD in radiodiagnosis and is currently working as a consultant radiologist with Saral Diagnostics. He's from Delhi. And with the help of our healthy weight loss program, he has lost more than 8 kgs. Thank you so much, Doctor, for taking out time today to be here with us and share your experience. I'm sure a lot of us are looking forward to hear from you and learn from your experience and get inspired as well. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
Okay, great. So to start off, I just want to ask you, Doctor, like as we spoke during our consultation when we started this program about 1 year back. So as you began this, you had already tried some diets before and some programs. So how did you find this program different from your earlier experiences? And what actually made you start on this one, if you can share?
So last year during the second wave, I tested positive, and then I kind of left my job and started working from home. And during that period of 3 to 4 months, I think I became a couch potato to a large extent and gained a lot of weight. So I was always a fat kid since my childhood, and I think it's more because I have like diabetes on my mother's side. So I have this weight gaining tendency, and it just got worse and worse. But when I realized, so I had like gained a lot of weight in a short span of time. So then I wanted to start a program, start a schedule to get healthy again. And before that, I have tried with the help of like some neighborhood dietitians and all 2-3 years ago, and they used to give me this calorie deficit program, and then then I think in between this special program by the name of keto diet became very popular. So just like we have different fashion trends which come and become popular, we have different diet trends which come and then they're very popular, and then everyone wants to do them, and then but you don't know whether it's good for you or it's not good for you. So same way, I think that time I did calorie deficit, and I think my dietitian also gave me some of the keto diet program also. So I lost weight, but I think it was not sustainable. And secondly, I felt I got some hair loss because of that. So I think after a couple of months of doing that program, I realized that I am having some hair loss. So I had stopped that program, and as soon as I stopped that program, so I gained my weight again. So if it's like if it took 2 months to lose a certain amount of weight, it took 2 weeks to gain it back. So and so yeah, so that time I had stopped. So now I was looking for something like which I should be able to do all my life, which should be sustainable. So I think something which I also, even being a doctor, I also forgot, and something which all of us usually forget is that, like when we're in school, we are all taught balanced diet. Nobody teaches us you have to you have to starve yourself. Nobody teaches us that you have to eat such as this thing or that thing. We are taught balanced diet. So I think down the line somewhere we forget that we have to take a balanced diet. So then I somehow connected with you, and you told me what your program is all about, and then I felt yeah, I think it inclines with this concept of having a balanced diet, and so I started doing this program. Think in this due to my metabolism, I think I was a slow progressor, but I still lost about 8 kgs in 3 to 4 months.
Yes.
And now I have kind of maintained it for like another 7-8 months.
Definitely. I think we connected around the same time last year. So it's been an year that we did this, and he has been able to maintain it almost for last 1 year as well. So I think pandemic gave a wake-up call to a lot of us, because while we were sitting at home, the sedentary lifestyle got on us and we had to do something about it. And that's what happened with Dr. Abhinav as well. And he was able to take some action for it. And we could help him fix that root cause of doing short-term programs. So we could fix that and build long-term healthy habits. And that is what is important in the longer term, right? So moving on, we would like to hear what are the benefits that you got from this program in this last 1 year. What are the changes that you have seen in yourself?
Yeah, so I think when we start any program, and I think especially with your program, the first thing you told me was that if you want to lose weight, you have to reduce your carbohydrate content. And your first line was ki, you have to stop roti, dal and chawal. Not dal, roti, chawal and bread. So ये तो बंद है. So for because like I know as a doctor ki yeah, these are high in carb, and it's not that if I stop eating these, so I will not get carbs, because I will get carbs from other vegetables and stuff also. But I think normally, so now when my friends also ask me, or anybody else, even my cousins or relatives ask me ki I want to lose weight and what should I do, so I also tell them the first thing you need to do is stop these 3 things for 1 week at least. So their reaction is like, this famous dialogue from one of the Kangan Ranaut movie, सारा लाइफ बर्बाद हो गया, सारा लाइफ तो कुछ बचेगा ही नहीं लाइफ में, ऐसे सारा लाइफ खराब हो गया ऐसे करके. तो so but the people don't realize that without it is not possible. And wheat is known to have very high glycemic index among all food substances. So yeah, so that is like one of the main things, and that is, I think, one of the main roadblocks a lot of people have when they have to start a program. So but it's like some things are necessary, so you can't avoid them. Secondly, as far as I am concerned, so I think one of the few things I benefited a lot was that, first of all, I got into a discipline. I think that is some place where I think your mentor or your coach help comes into play, because somebody is asking you what's the update, how's your progress, and things like that. So कुछ ना भी किया हो तो you feel ashamed ना कि I'll say कि I have gained 1 kg, I have not been following my diet. It's like, go to school and teacher asks you, have you done your homework? So so I think that's a place where your coach comes. On a personal level, I think one of the main things I noticed myself over this last 1 year is it has improved my gut health a lot. And I think uska lot reason ye hai because I'm eating like right food. I'm avoiding like packed dairy products and processed foods. So my gut health has improved a lot. And if I go out sometimes now once in a while, so I don't feel like bloated or constipated for the next couple of days, which I used to do earlier. Secondly, after stopping this roti, chawal, and bread for I think a short span only, I realized that it has improved my energy levels. So when I had first told about I told about this thing even to my fitness trainer or to anybody else. So they were like, sir, you will have no energy, you will fall down. They say, and you will be tired all day. So I don't think it's like that, because if you are having uh, uh, veggies or other things and you're filling your stomach otherwise, so you will not be tired. I say you will not be low energy. In fact, when your insulin metabolism improves, you are high on energy levels. You have better energy levels than you have before. And third thing I think I realized was that there are a lot of ways of losing weight, and I think not everything suits everyone. Over a period of time, we all have to realize what suits us, what suits our body. So there's this cliche that everyone is unique and all of us are different. So same way, our body's metabolism is also different. And one of the things I realized was that intermittent fasting works for me because it helps avoid insulin resistance. And since I have this hypothyroidism and genetically I am predisposed to diabetes, so it works good for me. So if you do a program properly for 3 to 4 months, apart from seeing the benefits, you will also realize what are the things which work for you and what you can carry on throughout your life. Because any program, like even if I tomorrow stop following what you told me and start living the way I was living before, I will gain back my weight. So we all need to find a program which suits us and which we can follow all our life, so that we are able to maintain it. So that is something I feel I was able to get in from this. So, and although there's some rule that if you do something for 21 days, you're able to follow it. It becomes a habit. So I think since I've done this for almost a year now, I think I can do this for the rest of my life, so I can stay healthy.
That's great. So perfectly, Dr. Abhinav has covered that we need to cater to our body's needs and we need to focus on what works for us, even though the program will be designed based on your needs, but you still need to figure out what you can follow for a longer term and not leave all the things of the program entirely, right? The maintenance plan will be there, but in that maintenance, you need to see what you can follow for a lifetime. Very important point that also Abhinav covered is about his gut health, and stay tuned. We have a gut health expert here that will be talking about how we can improve our gut health, and all of us can have a lot of takeaways. So before we wrap up, last question, Abhinav. So as you mentioned that you have benefited so much. So seeing the positive changes in you, how has your family benefited?
So I think my mother started following this after a few months when she saw that I have some results. So, and after following the program for about a couple of months, she also started feeling better energy levels, and her sugar level, HbA1c levels came down. So I think this story that which will go around with like a lot of our mothers all over India. So I always used to tell my mother that you need to have a proper uh, timing of your meals, and which I don't think a lot of our mothers who are housewives do this. So she'll like, I have household work in the morning, so uske baad mein she'll have tea, and then she'll do some other work, then she'll have lunch, so breakfast and then lunch. So sometimes she'll be having her breakfast at 9, and someday she'll be having a breakfast at 12. And a big reason for that was because she has to have her morning tea before the breakfast. So and then if your lunch is at 12, then if your breakfast is at 12, then your lunch will be at 4, and so on. So when जैसे वो घर की मुर्गी दाल बराबर होता है ना, तो वैसे when I was telling, so she was not following, and when coach told her कि no, you need to have your meals at a proper time, so she started having her breakfast with her morning tea early in the morning, like at 8:30 or 9 in the morning. So, and this is nothing short of a miracle, I would say. Because to
Definitely.
change the habits of your parents, like someone who's been doing this for 30 years, 40 years, so to change those habits are the toughest. So,
Correct.
but yeah, so
That's great. That's great. Yeah. So Abhinav's mom has reversed her pre-diabetes. Her HbA1c was 5.9 and currently it's 5.2. And that's a great progress for someone who is 60 plus to reverse their pre-diabetes. Like Abhinav said, the habits are the most difficult thing to change. And we as a community are very happy that we could add that value for Abhinav and his mother as well. I would just like to quickly share my screen to share Abhinav's transformation, so that just give me a second, so that you guys can see he has had an amazing change with regards to his facial fat. He looks much younger than before. I'll just share the screen. So that's been his transformation in 3-4 months journey, and very happy to share this in the community forum. Okay, thank you. This was it from our end. Thank you so much for sharing your experience. I'm sure you were able to inspire a lot of people who are logged in today. We have almost 500 people logged in, and I'm sure a lot of people will be inspired by your journey and your progress. Thank you so much for taking out time today, and thank you. Back to you, Shilpa. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Himani, and thank you, Dr. Agarwal. Wow, wonderful journey, isn't it? It is so nice to hear Dr. Agarwal's journey. See, this is the same language you will hear from all our Swasthya warriors, because as a community, we do work on fixing the root cause. Okay, this is it's just not bringing the weight down. We want to address the root cause so that you enjoy the benefit of so many health concerns, right? So yeah, I think Dr. Abhinav made my work a little easier. He mentioned that the first benefit he saw was on his gut health. So today I will share my knowledge, what I know about the gut health, what is the importance, what can cause disrupt in your gut health, and some tips which I have followed and benefited, right? So this is a most buzzing topic in today's fitness industry. If you hear so much about gut health, so many videos, material is available there. And at the same time, according to me, it is the most integral part of our body, right? We keep hearing, isn't it? Ajay, अरे मुझे bloating है, digestion problem है, gastric problem है, bowel syndromes, कुछ भी. There are so many things we keep hearing. Constipation is another major issues, right? But somehow people have accepted all this to be very normal. Achha, it's a manageable, nothing harmful can happen. Ghar ke thode nuske we will imply and we will do it. We will drink some, take some pills and drink some, drinks. And ये क्या अजवाइन का पानी, जीरा पानी लेके हम manage कर लेंगे. Okay. What if I say the unhealthy gut health could also be the reason for the most severe health conditions like diabetes, like cancer? It can affect our immune system. It can be the reason for autoimmune diseases, Alzheimer's, you name it, the list is never ending. And it is very surprising to know that it has direct impact on our health. Abhi thoda serious ho raha hai, right? Can we use the same nuske to resolve all this? Absolutely no. Listen to me carefully today. Okay, the knowledge which I'm going to share or the tips which I'm going to share, if you can implement correctly, your health can take a different course altogether, right? So let me share my screen first. I'll begin. So after knowing so much about gut health and reading about it, I feel very safe to say that the answer for all our health issues is in our gut, right? It is absolutely, you see that the gut is the birthplace of all the diseases. It is not Vegas, right? It is not Vegas where we say whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. It does not, stand good for gut at least. So whatever happens in our gut, it does not stay in our gut, right? Before we move on, let's understand what is gut, right? That it is the digestive tract, the gastrointestinal tract, right from our mouth to rectum. And within this, you'll be surprised to know there are trillions and millions of microbes which are living within our body. Bacteria, viruses, fungi. Can you imagine there are so many living creatures living within our body? Our body is home for so many microbes. And these microbes comes in different shapes and size. This comes in so many varieties. There are hundreds and thousands of species which you can find. And the good news is these microbes, we have good and bad bacteria together coexisting. And they also need nutrients to grow and perform their functions. Absolutely wonderful to know. So let's understand what is that. Of course, the population of good bacteria are higher compared to the bad bacteria. And I was astonished to know that these microbes is the reason for so many functions in our body, right? To name few, it's actually critical. They have a very, very crucial role to play in our body. To mention few, our food digestion, right? Absorption of the nutrients in our body, which eventually it will fuel our body and it will maintain. Certain kind of vitamins are responsible for releasing certain chemicals, the vitamins which will work with our immune system and fight the infections. They are responsible to send signal to our brain that you are full. What if the signal does not go to the brain? Can you imagine? You go on eating and you never feel full. That will lead to obesity if it is not functioning correctly. It regulates the hormonal level in our body, which is directly, we all know that it's directly related to weight. Did you know that gut is responsible to release happy hormones? That is the serotonin in our body. It is, now you can relate, when you eat something nice, you feel good, right? So it is all related to gut. We use this term gut feeling very often, right? So it is responsible to generate certain feelings. So it is absolutely important for our brain health. It is rightfully called as our second brain in our body. There's so many functions. See, like I mentioned, each microbes which is there in our body has a different role to play. And this ecosystem of microbes in our body, it's generally called as microbiome or microbiota. So these are the terms which you keep hearing so often, right? So after knowing so many things about, the microbes, I think it is absolutely our responsibility to take care of them, which is living within us and helping us to be healthy. So before we go ahead and see, let's see what caused the disruption in this community, okay, the microbiome community, which will definitely lead to unhealthy, gut health. See, we're talking about, as I said, there are both the kinds of microbes. There are bad guys and there are good guys. So the bad guys, which is very harmful, which will lead to many diseases, which I mentioned, the chronic diseases, they love to feast on the processed food and high sugar food, right? Whereas the good guys, which is responsible for so many functions in our body, they like to eat some wholesome food, which is from plants and vegetables, whole grains, right? No, which is not processed. But the bad guys, they multiply, they breed heavily when you constantly feed them with processed food and sugar. Imagine now we live in the world of it's where everything is so instant. We want easy food. Everything is processed and packed so that you do not spend so much time in preparation of food, and everything comes with high sugar. Each time when you put food in your mouth, just give one thought: are you feeding good guys or are you feeding the bad guys in your stomach? So good guys, definitely, if the population of the bad guys increase, the bad bacteria increase in our stomach, obviously it will lead to a lot of inflammation, which is directly related to so many chronic diseases, isn't it? So rightfully, we have to think, each time you go, now it has become a conscious effort now. Whenever I put something in my mouth, one thought: is it good for me or bad for me? That one thought maybe will help you to change the choices of your food. The lack of food diversity, I mentioned that there are different kinds of species which are available, right? And each microbes require, the nutrients requirement is different. Now, there was a study that 75% of world population, they eat only species, plants of 12 types and 5 animal species. Where are the rest of the food gone? I remember as growing up, I used to eat so many wild fruits, which is missing now. And during the festival, Shivratri festival, my mom used to make laddus of different kinds of millets. Right now that is not their part of my diet, and and that has been passed on to your next generation. If you see so many things, so see, when you don't get food, give good food for your bacteria, and they are not used, eventually they will die. That's the reason sometimes when you eat some kind of a new food, it is difficult for your body to digest, because there is no presence of that particular bacteria which is responsible to digest the food. No exercise, smoking, alcohol, everything contributes to, where the increase of the harmful bacteria in your gut. And, there is a gradual decrease of good bacteria. To talk about antibiotics, see, it's absolutely required. It has saved so many lives. But excessive, constant use of antibiotics it changes the composition of the microbiome system. And for it to reset, it will take at least 2 years if you follow the right diet. Let's talk about overeating, constant grazing, overeating, not eating according to the circadian rhythm, right? See, we all are very guilty of overeating. I was also there one stage where you go to, you go for a buffet, you go to a resort, or you go to a restaurant. Since you have paid the money for it, paisa vasool karna hai. So, you will eat at least 4 to 5 times your capacity. It is, the culture which has been created. Can you imagine the overload which you're giving to your gut for the digestion? Constant grazing. Abhi meal to ek shuru nahi khatam nahi hua. We are already ready for our coffees. We are already ready for our snacking. Can you just imagine? See, it's a 9 to 6 job. You go to a 9 to 6 job, you know what is the functions we can, what is the task we can do within our job assigned time, right? But what if you have a manager who's constantly giving you a task? You're already doing a task, there is another task waiting for you. So much of stress, you're already thinking of how I can complete. Fine, you finally do that job and you finish all your tasks. When you're ready to shut down at 6 o'clock, a pile of work comes again to your table. Okay. Imagine taking a heavy meal just before going to bed when the body is ready to rest. Can you imagine the plight? You are completely tired the entire day. Same thing could be happening in your gut, isn't it? So there are so many things to talk about. Let me just directly go now understand how we can few tips I'm going to share how we can improve our gut health. See, one, we have already spoken about changing our diet, adapting to the new habits, isn't it? Increasing wholesome food, which is high in fiber, which is fermented food, diverse food. These are all food, good source of nutrients for your good bacteria so that they can perform well. See, we hear about prebiotics, probiotics, that's a very common tip you can see on the internet. According to me, I think those are just the quick fixes. But how about we address the root cause, right? Let me talk about, relish your food and grind your food. Chew your food, eat slowly. See, our digestion process starts right from our mouth. The more we chew our food, the less effort is for the other digestive organs to perform. In fact, what I understand is as soon as you see food, your digestion process start. Don't you salivate when you see some nice food? वो जो मुंह में पानी आ रहा है. So, the signals are already sent that there is a potential food which is going to come in your mouth. Just take an example of relay. So there are 4 runners, right? The first runner, which is our mouth, okay? If the first runner can give a good start, right? It is so easy for all the other runners to complete the race and the possibility of winning is high. But if there are hiccups with the first runner itself, imagine the plight or the effort that all the 3 runners have to do. Is it there's a possibility of winning is very minimal. It is the same thing. It's a win-win situation. It's a team game, isn't it? See, the next tip I just want to talk about is adapting to the mini fast. This is one of my favorite. I've been following it personally and I see tremendous result in my health. What is that? It is just giving 4 to 5 hours gap in each meal. Okay, and see, a body is designed to heal itself. A body is carefully crafted to complete the entire digestion process more effectively. So, but here, like I mentioned, we are in a practice of constant grazing, isn't it? Khana khaya, snacking kiya, 6-7 meal to आराम से हो जाता है. Some people will think, तो चाय कैसे meal हो सकता है? We are drinking chai filled with sugar and milk. That is also requires digestion. Unless you adapt to, green tea or black coffee or just drinking water, plain water. So what happens is once a food is digested, your body, if you allow a gap of 4 to 5 hours, your body will trigger a mechanism called as migrating motor complex. The role of this mechanism is for cleaning. It's like a housekeeping. It cleans the small intestines by pushing the undigested food residues to the right place. If your food is not digested well and there are residues which is there, is a high possibility that it can get into your bloodstreams, which will lead to inflammation and can be the cause for so many diseases. By just giving the time for your body to complete the process, you can have so many health benefits. So it's ready to welcome the other food. I just, can you imagine you're in a wedding dining hall where the first set of people are already eating food. People are serving well and there is, housekeeping who is ready to clean after your food. But eventually the crowd gets more and the other set of guests are already standing behind the chairs. Can you imagine that flight? Nobody, the people who are serving are in a hurry to finish serving the food. Can the housekeeping guy do a good job? Absolutely no. When the second set of guest people sit, there's always a residue of food left. It's dirty. So same thing which can happen in your food. So constant eating can lead to such situation in your body. Staying connected with nature, getting back to roots, just like the way we are homes of so many trillions of microbes, the plants, the trees, the soil itself is so important. They also have different diverse microbes within them. So when you go touch them, you are in connected with them. There is a high possibility that you absorb those microbes. Like I mentioned, the more variety of bacteria in your gut, it is very, very important. It is proven that, for medical treatments like cancer treatment, the body will respond well if the diversity rate is very, very high. So, if for kids, especially if you have kids, allow them to go play in the mud, allow them to touch the pets, until it is safe. Allow them to go play in the nature. See, we all did this. I'm sure we have seen this effect during pandemic, where we were confined to our homes. We did not go out. We did not breathe different kind of air. We were just there in that. And for boredom, we've grazed like crazily. There was so much of stress which was there. I'm very sure each of our gut health had taken a toll, right? It's so important to be connected to the nature. Okay. Now, you guys want to know what is the fifth point? It is very, very important. Please pay attention, right? The fifth point is to follow all the 4 points, the first 4 points. Believe me, this is the basic small changes which we can do, and it does not cost us more. There, you can think of, you can research what are the fermented food, what are the diverse food. It will absolutely help. And if you have any questions, you can get back to your coaches and they can definitely help. So yeah, this is all I had to say. Believe me, the answer, I would like to reiterate, the answer to all your health issues is right there in your gut. Thank you so much. It was lovely talking to all of you, and have a good day. All right. So we have a training for our coaches after this. The link will be shared. So the rest of you, please enjoy your day, eat well, and stay healthy.